21 factories overseas, 14 in the United States, $23 million acquiring Chinese forging capacity between 2008 and 2010. That's Snap-on today. And unless you check every individual SKU, you cannot know whether that wrench in your hand was forged in America. Only 3 brands still make that guarantee. What Snap-on gave up wasn't just a production line. It was the one thing their name was built on. Milwaukee, 1920. In a rented loft above a blacksmith shop, Joseph Johnson and Bill Seidemann started a company on a promise. Every Snap-on wrench would be forged from American steel and built to outlast the car it serviced. Their earliest ads didn't just sell tools. They sold the idea that a mechanic's trust was earned at the anvil, not in a boardroom. The first Snap-on catalog boasted interchangeable sockets, a breakthrough that let mechanics swap out heads in seconds instead of minutes. It was more than clever engineering. It was a shift in what a tool could mean: speed, reliability, and pride in the work. By the 1930s, Snap-on's patent filings described the flank drive geometry, a subtle but powerful rethinking of how a wrench grips a bolt. Instead of chewing up corners, flank drive transferred force to the flat sides, letting mechanics apply more torque with less risk of rounding. That design, stamped into every wrench, became a quiet guarantee. Early catalogs and trade journal ads hammered home the words, USA forged steel, not as decoration, but as a contract. If you bought a Snap-on, you knew where it came from, and you knew what it would do. In those years, American forging meant more than a country of origin. It meant a grain structure aligned by hammer and die, a material that flexed under stress and snapped back instead of cracking. Mechanics in the 1920s and the 1930s did not need a metallurgist to explain why a forged wrench felt different in the hand. They could feel it in the way a bolt broke loose, in the way a tool survived a decade of daily abuse. The Snap-on name wasn't just a logo, it was a benchmark for every wrench that followed. That's the standard the brand set, and the one every competitor had to chase. Snap-on's reputation once rested on a simple promise: American-forged tools built to last. That promise fractured in the late 2000s, not with a press release, but with a series of quietly executed deals. In 2008, Snap-on spent $15.4 million to acquire 60% of Zhejiang Wanda Tools, a Chinese manufacturer. By 2010, they paid another $7.7 million to buy out the rest, locking in full control of what would become Snap-on Asia Manufacturing. SEC filings spell out the numbers, and the logic was global capacity and lower costs. The effect was immediate. Today, the company operates 14 plants in the US, but 21 overseas, including the Kunshan and Shaoshan facilities in China. The shift is not just on paper. Mechanics noticed the change in their hands. Ratchets that once wore a proud USA stamp now arrive blank, or worse, marked Made in China. Online forums and shop counters alike filled with stories. A 1/4-inch ratchet snapping on a transmission job. A socket set missing the weight and feel of the old line. The Snap-on catalog now lists a country of origin field for each SKU, forcing buyers to check every part number if they want American-forged steel. The Blue Point sub-brand, once a badge of affordable quality, now operates under a rule. At least 70% of its inventory must come from overseas. Mechanics know what that means. The Blue Point wrenches and sockets filling tool trucks across the country are stamped out in Kunshan or Shaoshan, not Wisconsin or Illinois. The Snap-on logo still carries weight, but the guarantee it once offered is gone. Now, every purchase comes with a caveat. Trust, but verify. In shops where a broken wrench can mean lost hours or real danger, that is not nostalgia. It is a matter of safety and respect. On the outskirts of Barberton, Ohio, a single address stands as proof that American forging isn't just a memory. Wright Tool, founded in 1927, still operates from one Wright place, and every wrench that leaves its doors carries the weight of that history. Tom Feuty, now president after a 2007 management buyout, leads a team that treats steel like a matter of trust. Every shipment is tested in-house, not just for grade or hardness, but to confirm its United States origin. No shortcuts, no ambiguity. The company's patented Wright Grip 2.0 and Wright Drive 2.0 are not marketing fluff. They are registered innovations, the result of real engineering aimed at preventing jaw spread and rounding, especially under the kind of torque that pipeline crews and crane operators face every day. All forging, heat treating, and finishing happen on site, with United States-sourced steel, and not a single wrench is outsourced or relabeled. In an industry where private equity and offshoring have become the norm, Wright stands as the rare holdout, privately owned, fully accountable, and unwilling to dilute its standards for a wider margin. For mechanics who demand certainty, not just in strength but in origin, Wright sets the benchmark others now struggle to reach. Proto's story runs deep, tracing its roots to 1907 in Los Angeles, when the Klein Tool company set out to build tools that could survive the brutal demands of industry. By 1933, Klein had introduced the combination wrench, a single tool that could grip, turn, and break loose bolts on everything from the Golden Gate Bridge to Ford's assembly lines. When Apollo 11 left for the moon, Proto wrenches were in the toolbox. That kind of legacy still carries weight in the trades, but the modern Proto badge comes with fine print. Today, Proto's core wrenches and impact sockets are forged in Dallas, Texas, under the eye of engineers who build to ASME B107.100 standards. That means every Dallas forged wrench is tested for torque, hardness, and failure rate, meeting the same specs required for aerospace and defense work. But Proto's catalog is broad, and the country of origin story gets complicated fast. Specialty ratcheting wrenches, some metric sets, and small diameter sockets might be stamped made in Taiwan or Italy, sometimes in the same product family. For anyone buying Proto, the badge alone isn't enough. Each SKU has to be checked for its origin. The Dallas Forge delivers the real thing, but the only way to know for sure is to pull up the part number and read the fine print. For professionals who demand more than marketing, that diligence isn't optional. It's the new cost of trust. Klein Tools stands apart as the family name most electricians trust, not just for pliers but for wrenches forged on American soil. Founded in 1857 by Matthias Klein, the company has never left family hands, and 5 generations have steered it from a single Chicago forge to its current home in Lincolnshire, Illinois. That continuity matters. Klein's forging presses still shape steel under the same roof as their founders, and every wrench that leaves the line is backed by a claim that goes beyond marketing: full compliance with the Federal Trade Commission's Made in USA standard. There is no fine print, no imported blank slipped through a loophole. The Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, shows no enforcement actions against Klein, a rarity in an industry crowded with gray area labels. For tradespeople, that means a Klein wrench is as American as the job it is built for, whether it is a combination, adjustable, or a specialty tool for telecom work. In a market where even legacy brands hedge their bets with offshore supply, Klein's approach is straightforward. If it wears the name, it was forged here. That is a promise few can match. Channellock deserves mention as another family-run, Pennsylvania-based forger, but Klein's reach and verified compliance make it the most accessible choice for buyers who want certainty without compromise. The result is a trio, Wright, Proto, and Klein, that covers the full spectrum of trades. each with a distinct legacy, but united by a commitment to American forging that still holds. A forged wrench isn't just a badge of pride, it's a product of physics. When steel is hot forged, the grain structure flows along the shape of the tool, like wood grain running the length of a bat. This alignment is the difference between a wrench that flexes under torque and one that snaps without warning. ASTM E8 tensile tests show that forged wrenches deliver, on average, 26% higher tensile strength and 37% greater fatigue life than cast counterparts. Cast tools, with their random grain and hidden porosity, fail unpredictably and often fracture at lower loads. Stamped wrenches pressed from sheet at room temperature can suffer from surface cracks and lack the ductility needed for real-world abuse. Independent metallurgists point to the numbers. Forged 4140 steel wrenches routinely measure 900 to 1050 megapascals in tensile strength, while investment cast versions top out at 850. In safety-critical work, those margins aren't academic. They're the line between a tool that survives and one that fails when it matters most. Every purchase now demands vigilance. Start with the three-step check. First, pull the exact part number and confirm the country of origin. Never trust just the brand or the logo. Second, look for documented compliance. Wright Tool and Klein meet full FTC Made in USA requirements, and Proto's Dallas forged core wrenches are ASME B107.100 certified. Third, consider the use case. If you are working critical torque or safety jobs, cast or stamped imports are a liability you can't afford. The verdict is clear. Wright stands alone for full-line US forging. Proto delivers industrial-grade strength with select SKUs, and Klein offers uncompromised American production for electricians and general trades. Anything less is a gamble with your safety and your reputation. The Wright wrench isn't about nostalgia. It's about knowing, beyond doubt, what you're putting in your hand. Today, only 3 brands guarantee a Forged in America wrench. For working hands, this isn't nostalgia. It's about grain structure, ductility, and trust earned at the bench. The Snap-on name once meant certainty. Now, every purchase is a test. The promise of American steel is no longer automatic. It's a choice.